Good evening, boils and ghouls. Asylumina here once again, and I am so happy to finally show you all my new series that I announced a while ago. It's finally here. This is Cinema Psychosis, where I will be subjecting myself to the world's most disturbing and weird art films that the world has to offer. Did I say world the first time? I would just like to give a little shout out to Count Kinula for giving me the idea for the title of this new series. If you want to check out his Facebook page, I have it linked down in the description below. So the first movie I am going to be talking about and reviewing is a movie that came out on May 1st of 1974 called Sweet Movie. Sweet Movie was written and directed by Dusan Makavejev. I'm not exactly sure if I'm pronouncing that right. This film was designed to have the audience's mind awakened by showing them extremely bizarre and unsettling, stomach-churning visuals. And I'll tell you what, it definitely works. So this film follows two separate female protagonists, the first of which being Miss Monde, or who I will be referring to as Miss Canada, and the second of which is Anna Prucknall. The reason this film follows two separate storylines is because the woman who played Miss Canada decided to back out of the production after she saw all the disturbing things that she would have to do on set. And I really don't blame her. This film has some very unsettling visuals, and I can't wait to get into them with you. First off, I would like to go through the outlines of what both of these storylines are separately, and then afterwards I will be doing a review on the entirety of it. If you would like to just skip right to the review, I'll have a little time here that you can skip to. And we're back. So first off, I would like to start off with Miss Canada. So the first thing that happens to this poor girl is she wins the Miss World Virginity contest. After she wins, she is auctioned off to Mr. Capital, who I will be referring to as the Bachelor. Now you might actually recognize the man who plays him, John Vernon, as Curtis Mooney in Killer Clowns from Outer Space, or Dean Vernon Warmer from Animal House. After the Bachelor takes Miss Canada back to his home mansion, instead of consummating the marriage, he tries to purify her by urinating on her while people watch and laugh. After this, Miss Canada is taken by the Superman, who is the family bodyguard, who is also played by Roy Callender, who in fact is a bodybuilder himself. After Miss Canada is taken away, she performs a certain act on the Superman, to which he responds by karate chopping her and stuffing her into a suitcase. The Superman brings the suitcase to Paris for some reason. Atop the Eiffel Tower in Paris, she meets the character El Macho, who is by far my absolute favorite character in this entire movie because it makes no sense to have him in there. He sings not once, not twice, but 3 times in this movie, and it's all the same song. El Macho and Miss Canada wind up having public sex on the Eiffel Tower, and when they're startled by a number of nuns, they get stuck together. Doctors are called, and instead of bringing them to, I don't know, a hospital, they bring them into a kitchen. After they get unstuck, El Macho sings one more time, just for good measure, and then this happens.
Yeah, he's crying.
Why is he? What? What is happening?
I still don't really understand why that happened. Then somehow Miss Canada ends up in a commune. According to the most knowledgeable of all sites, Wikipedia, the one scene that is in the commune is supposed to be resemblance of rebirth. This is why he acts like a baby, they put on a diaper, and they start to pamper him. It is extremely disturbing visuals, and I suggest that you skip the commune part altogether. In the commune, they have some sort of feast, but really it's more like a free-for-all, where they defecate and vomit uncontrollably. Don't worry, I'm not going to show you any of that. Finally, the movie ends with Miss Canada on some kind of a commercial where she is in the nude and covered completely in liquid chocolate. We first meet Anna Planeta on her boat. Now the front of it is either a replica of the face of Karl Marx or Vladimir Lenin. I have heard it both ways, but I am still unsure. And for some reason, her boat is completely filled to the brim with candy. A sailor climbs on board and somehow becomes her lover. It is unsure if his name is actually Potemkin or if it is a reference to the Russian ship from 1905. The Potemkin was a Russian battleship, and in 1905 the crew rebelled, and this is considered one of the first steps to the Russian Revolution that would later happen in 1917. It is unclear if in this timeline the year itself is supposed to be 1905, or if it's just some kind of weird reference to it. Anna winds up telling the sailor that if he falls in love with her, she'll have no choice but to kill him. There's really no reasoning behind this. I think she just likes telling people she wants to kill them. And then, in my opinion, the most disturbing part of this entire film is when Anna seduces a number of children and brings them onto her candy-filled boat. As early fated in this movie, the sailor does wind up falling in love with her, and she kills him in the oddest of ways in a mound of sugar. At the end of Anna's timeline, she is arrested, and the body bags of presumably the children are strewn across the canal. This suggests that she may have killed the children, but it never goes out and says that. Intercut throughout the film are little snippets of actual footage of Nazi medical experiments. This has no relevance to the plot at all. It is only meant to shock the audience. And shock me it did. It came absolutely out of nowhere. And now, onto the review. Although none of the acting was anything to really write home about, I do have to commend Carol Lohr for all of the things that she did wind up doing in the completed film. It really isn't easy to do some of the nasty, disgusting things that she wound up doing. I can only imagine what other horrible atrocities she would have had to commit should she have kept on with the filming. I do have to say that her acting abilities were very lacking. It was weak, it was dull, and it was very expressionless. Although Anna Prochnow, who played Anna Planeta, really didn't have very good acting abilities, I did feel like she did help bring the character to life in a very uncomfortable way. Talking about the minor actors, I have got to say that Sammy Frey was probably the best actor out of all of them. It was the little actions that really endeared himself to me, even though his character wasn't necessarily needed. The screenwriting was atrocious. The dialogue that Superman had and the interactions between the sailor and Anna were pretty much all over the place.
Why, they've even wanted to put me on exhibit in the Museum of Natural Sciences.
Right on. Suck it to me, baby.
My name is Anna Planeta.
Try me, I'm delicious.
You are so beautiful.
I know.
Really, the only things that this film has to offer are its nasty, gross visuals and El Macho. I have to give this film a 1 out of 5. It isn't a movie that you should sit down right now and watch, nor is it one you should even seek out. Unless you're really into disturbing films like I am. Are there any disturbing films that you would like me to review? Feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Until then, pleasant screams! This movie makes no sense. I heard a door. Interrupting my filming.
I can't see through the door.
Shut up, Jess. It's the only thing you've seen in the movie.
I know. Don't watch it.
You ruined my take. Ay, ay, ay. Oh.